Right, a night in Italy that leaves you with mixed feelings, but also with a strange sense of pride. A draw away from home in Europe against a side from one of the major leagues is not something Celtic have made a habit of enjoying over the years. Bologna too, Celtic too, and when you strip it all back, that point could end up meaning a great deal as this Europa League campaign unfolds. Before kickoff, most supporters would probably have taken a draw without too much argument. Some might have quietly fancied us to nick a win. Others feared it could turn into another long European night on the road. What actually unfolded was a game full of momentum swings, moments of quality, lapses in discipline, and a level of grit that has been badly missing at times this season. It was not perfect, far from it, but it was competitive, and that alone marks it out as different from too many recent away performances. Celtic could not have asked for a better start. From the opening exchanges, there was an aggression about the press that immediately caught Bologna out. The opening goal came from forcing an error, applying pressure high up the pitch, and capitalizing without hesitation. There was nothing fortunate about it beyond the opponent cracking under pressure. The move was sharp, decisive, and finished with the kind of composure that has often been lacking. Suddenly, Celtic were ahead in Italy, and for a brief spell, they looked dangerous every time they went forward. That early spell was probably the most encouraging aspect of the night. Celtic were not sitting off, not passing the ball around aimlessly at the back, but actually looking to hurt the opposition. There was purpose in the play, runners committing defenders, shots being taken. One chance in particular forced an outstanding save from the goalkeeper, who somehow managed to keep the ball out with an instinctive arm while already moving the other way. On another night, with a fraction more quality or luck, Celtic could have found themselves 2 goals clear inside the opening phase. Bologna, though, were never going to lie down. They began to grow into the game, using their physicality and energy in midfield to disrupt Celtic's rhythm. The warning signs were there, especially when possession was cheaply surrendered in dangerous areas. That sense of control Celtic had early on began to slip, and the game started to tilt. The Italian side began creating openings, and it felt like only a matter of time before the pressure told. The turning point of the match and the moment that completely reshaped the task ahead came with the dismissal in midfield. Losing a player in Europe is always costly, but losing one in that manner through 2 moments of poor discipline made it even harder to swallow. The first booking was unnecessary, the second simply careless. In European football, referees are quick to punish even the slightest hint of petulance, and Celtic paid the price. Suddenly, with so much of the match still to play, the side were facing an uphill battle with 10 men. What followed, though, was one of the most surprising moments of the night. Rather than collapsing, Celtic found another goal. Even then, it was not straightforward, with the finish almost finding a way to be missed, but the ball crossed the line, and Celtic somehow found themselves 2 goals ahead despite being a man down. At that point, it felt surreal. The task was still enormous, but there was belief, and there was a sense that this team were not prepared to simply surrender. The second half brought exactly what you would expect. Bologna came out with intent, moving the ball quickly, forcing Celtic deeper and deeper. The pressure was relentless, crosses flying into the box, shots from distance, runners arriving late. When the goal eventually came, it felt inevitable rather than shocking. The quality of the strike was undeniable, a reminder of the level Celtic were up against, and from that moment on, it became about survival. When Bologna equalised, there was a genuine fear that the floodgates might open. Celtic supporters have seen that story too many times in Europe, conceding goals in quick succession once momentum is lost. Yet this time something was different. Instead of panic, there was organisation. Instead of heads dropping, there was communication and discipline. The back line defended the box with determination, throwing bodies in the way, winning headers, making blocks that drew roars from the travelling support. The final stages of the match were uncomfortable, but they were also admirable. Every clearance mattered. Every interception was celebrated like a goal. Players who are not known for defensive work were tracking back, putting their bodies on the line, doing the ugly side of the game that so often defines European results. It was not pretty, but it was effective. And when the final whistle blew, there was a visible sense of relief and satisfaction among the players. Individually, there were performances that deserve recognition. At the heart of the defense, the centre-backs were immense, dealing with wave after wave of pressure. Full-backs dug deep, midfielders covered every blade of grass, and the goalkeeper made crucial saves at key moments. There may be one effort he wishes he had dealt with better, but overall, his contribution kept Celtic in the game when it mattered most. This was not a flawless display, and it does not suddenly erase the issues that have plagued Celtic away from home in Europe. The quality in possession still needs to improve. Decision-making under pressure must be better, and discipline cannot afford to lapse in such costly fashion. But what this match did show was character, resilience, and a willingness to fight for each other, qualities that have been questioned too often this season. In the context of the Europa League table, this point could prove vital. Sitting right on the edge of qualification, Celtic have given themselves a clear scenario going into the final match. Win at home, and progression is secured. Lose, and the risk of elimination becomes very real. There is no ambiguity, no need to calculate complex permutations. The task is simple, even if the challenge is not under the lights at Celtic Park with everything on the line. The hope is that this performance in Italy can act as a catalyst. Confidence is a powerful thing in football, and a result like this, achieved in difficult circumstances, has the potential to change the mood around the squad. It does not fix everything, but it offers a reminder that this team is capable of standing up to pressure when it truly matters. Looking ahead, the focus immediately shifts to the next challenge. Celtic Park will play host to a crucial home tie, and the lessons from Italy cannot be underestimated. There is an energy in the squad now, a renewed sense of belief that perhaps the team has been missing in recent weeks. The players know what is required, and the supporters, finally, are starting to sense that they can impact the outcome once more. Atmosphere at home can be transformative, and with everything riding on this next game, it is essential that Celtic make the stadium a fortress once again. Preparation for such a fixture goes far beyond the tactical. It is about recovering physically and mentally, ensuring that the squad can absorb the pressure that is inevitable in must-win European fixtures. There are injury concerns, as always, with key players still unavailable, but this team has shown a depth that could prove crucial. Those who have come in during difficult spells have stepped up, often in ways that surprise even the most skeptical fans. It is not ideal, but it is workable, and sometimes adversity brings out the best in a side. Celtic's attacking options are also worth noting. With the new striker now part of the squad, there is an added dimension to the forward line. He has not yet had a chance to settle fully, and there are questions over fitness and match sharpness, but the potential is obvious. Bringing in a fresh, attacking threat could be the difference in tight matches, particularly when the opposition know the defensive shape and routines of Celtic inside out. It will be fascinating to see whether Martin O'Neill decides to introduce him from the start or ease him in gradually, but either way, the potential for a spark is there. What stands out most from the Bologna match, however, is the mental fortitude displayed by the squad. The team were down to 10 men for a significant portion of the game, yet they did not panic, did not crumble under pressure. That alone is a positive. Celtic supporters have endured too many nights in Europe where the side has folded under stress, and this time they held firm. That calmness, that organization is something that cannot be measured easily in stats, but is critical when approaching must-win scenarios. It allows the team to play with composure, even when everything seems to be going against them. Defensively, there were a number of standout moments. Players who are not usually in the spotlight stepped up, putting in blocks, winning headers, making last-ditch tackles, and generally doing the ugly, unseen work that keeps a clean sheet just as important as scoring goals. This collective effort is the foundation upon which the team can build confidence. Going forward, individual errors will still happen as they always do in football, but the team showed that mistakes do not necessarily lead to disaster if there is structure, communication, and determination across the pitch. The midfield battle was perhaps the most telling aspect. Losing a player to a red card often means ceding control, but Celtic managed to adapt, shift, and cover spaces in ways that prevented Bologna from completely dominating. It was not perfect. There were moments of panic, moments where a lapse could have been punished, and the Italian side did create chances. Yet Celtic were able to absorb these periods without capitulating, and that resilience is a mark of growth. The squad is learning how to handle adversity, and in European football, that lesson can be the difference between elimination and progression. Goalkeeping also played a critical role. There were a few instances where only instinctive reactions prevented the game from slipping away. One particularly difficult save, requiring full reach and rapid adjustment, kept Celtic ahead at a crucial time. Goalkeepers are often remembered for mistakes, but performances like this, under pressure, quietly underline the importance of confidence and command within the defensive unit. It also allows the rest of the team to play with a bit more freedom, knowing that there is a safety net at the back. Another factor in the performance was the impact of the substitutes. When Bologna intensified their attacks, the fresh legs coming on were able to help plug gaps, maintain structure, and provide additional energy. The tactical decisions made from the bench were key in navigating the final stages. Without that depth and adaptability, the result could have been very different. It highlights the importance of squad rotation and preparation, particularly in competitions like the Europa League, where the margin for error is slim and the opposition are always ready to exploit any weakness. Looking further ahead, Celtic now have a clear target: win the next home game, and progression is assured. It is a simple equation, but the simplicity belies the difficulty. The pressure will be immense, the stakes high, and the atmosphere intense. This is where character, organization, and mental resilience all come into play. The squad now know that they are capable of standing firm when challenged, and that knowledge can instill confidence as much as any tactical briefing. The crowd will be an essential factor. Celtic Park has the potential to become a cauldron of support, making life extremely uncomfortable for the visitors. Supporters can influence matches in ways that statistics cannot quantify, and this is where the Scottish game truly shines. Fans have the ability to create an energy that carries players through challenging periods. It will be critical for the team to feed off that support, just as the supporters will feed off the belief displayed on the pitch. Martin O'Neill's influence remains significant. The team responded to his coaching and leadership in Italy, showing fight and commitment that perhaps had been missing in previous matches. His ability to inspire players to bring out the best from those who may have been struggling has been evident. The squad now know that effort and focus will be rewarded, and that mentality can carry them through both the Europa League and domestic fixtures in the coming weeks. The next few matches will be a test of consistency and application. Celtic must maintain the defensive organisation, channel the fight in attack, and manage disciplinary issues carefully. Each player will need to focus on their role, ensuring that individual errors do not undermine collective effort. The margin for error is slim in European football, and even small mistakes can be costly, but the team now have the evidence that they can survive and succeed under pressure. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Chaos seems to be brewing at Celtic, and the latest whispers from insiders could send shivers down the spine of even the most loyal Hoops supporter. Sources close to the club hint that Martin Hugh Michael O'Neill, the Northern Irish tactician revered for his steady hand in years past, might be facing one of the most testing periods of his managerial career. The speculation comes on the heels of a startling claim from a club legend who went on live television and did not mince his words. According to this figure, who once donned the green and white with pride, the team under O'Neill is heading for a mauling. In Italy, no one is confirming the details, but the tone of the remarks has stirred a pot already simmering with tension. They're set for humiliation, the former idol declared, his voice carrying a mix of disbelief and frustration. Observers say his critique was sharp, zeroing in on tactical naivety and a perceived lack of adaptability in O'Neill's approach. Fans on social media have been quick to pick up on the comments, dissecting every phrase and speculating wildly about the upcoming clash abroad. Will Celtic rise to the challenge, or is this the beginning of a managerial storm? Insiders suggest that dressing room morale has been shaky, with murmurs of discontent among senior players. The legend's television outburst, some say, is a symptom rather than the cause of the unrest, a reflection of deeper anxieties over form, selection, and the ability to compete against continental opposition. While O'Neill's track record is far from negligible, the pressure cooker environment of European fixtures has a way of magnifying cracks, however small. Betting circles and fan forums alike are buzzing with hypothetical lineups, potential tweaks, and whether the manager will stick to his tried and true methods or gamble with bold changes. Scotland's football press is now split between concern and cautious optimism. There is no doubt that O'Neill commands respect, yet the timing of this criticism is uncanny. With the fixture looming, whispers suggest that internal strategy meetings have intensified as coaching staff look to stem any potential embarrassment. Meanwhile, supporters are bracing for what could be an electric atmosphere both on and off the pitch, with speculation fueling the narrative more than actual confirmed information. One thing seems certain: whether hero or villain in this saga, O'Neill's next moves will be scrutinised like never before, and the Celtic faithful are holding their collective breath. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.